Today I'll be taking you through our outer cutting techniques and our biopic core cutting techniques. This technique is called hinge cutting. It is a way to create definitive layers in the hair, but this still have movement and flow really nicely. So for someone that maybe wants a little bit more definition or more defined layers, it's a really awesome technique to create just nice diffused lines in the hair so they can still see the layers, but not necessarily have them look so choppy. So the way that we do this is we take the hair in the back from the apex all the way down to our center nape balance point. And I want to just take a small section, about 1/4 of an inch wide. And if you're right-handed, you want to be standing on their right side. If you're left-handed, you'll be standing on their left side. So the reason being is because your dominant hand, you want it to be facing, so my non-cutting hand, I want it so that my palm comes up underneath and captures the hair between my fingers underneath the hair. So I'm going to take this whole section and put my fingers right at the apex, right where the part line is, and then I'm going to hinge or pivot up to 90 degrees. So once I hinge to 90 degrees, this is going to give an over direction of the entire section to really create a nice diffused line in the hair. Now if you come at 45 degrees, it's going to create a much different type of layer cut in the hair. So you want to make sure that you're at 90 degrees to really give you that diffused layers in the hair. So first you want to let gravity drop. Once gravity's dropped, you want to make sure that you're not taking any length off. So gravity's dropped. We're also going to take off a few inches at the end. So I just want to go a little bit further just to make sure that all of that gravity's out of the way. And then for the entire section, I just want to actually hold my fingers directly next to where my fingers are at, and I'm just going to cut the entire section going straight up. And as you see, as you bring it down, it creates just a nice diffused layer in the hair. Then you just get that section out of the way, and you'll take another radial section from apex down to the nape, and there's no guide on this except for gravity. So it's not a traveling guide, gravity is the guide. So I'm gonna hinge up to 90 degrees, come up until gravity drops. There goes gravity. Now I'm gonna just cut straight up and let it fall. And you'll notice as I'm traveling, so does how I travel when I'm holding the hair. So I always want to hold the hair in the section where it lives and cut where the hair lives. So I'm gonna hold my fingers at the apex, pivot up to 90 degrees, using my comb to guide that hair up until gravity drops. One thing you want to make sure is that your client is looking straight ahead. If they look down, it's going to change the direction of the hair. If they look up, it's going to change the direction. So you want to make sure they're looking straight ahead. You come straight up till gravity drops, and then you're going to just cut going straight up that section, right? And bringing it down. So I've cut the entire back section using hinge cutting, and as you can see, if I brush the hair straight down, it almost looks invisible, as though you can't even see any layers in the hair. But as I go like this and shake it up, you can definitely see that there's some layers that move from the middle here all the way down to the end to really give some nice movement in the hair to really showcase those layers. So once you've cut the back, you want to continue moving forward to cut the rest of the hair. So you'll start on either the right or left side, either one, right at the ear base where you left off from the back section. You want to have them look straight ahead. Take a small 1/4 inch section. Now because on the sides, you're actually not going to be having any hair in zone 1, which is that back section here, you definitely want to make sure that you're not taking out any length. So again, you want to put your fingers right at the part line, pivot or hinge up to 90 degrees, come straight up where the hair lives, let gravity drop, and literally just open and close your shears. And then you'll repeat the exact same steps on the opposite side. So you always want to make sure that you're standing on the side that allows you to be able to have your hands underneath the section. So for their right side, you'll be standing facing them. For the left side, you'll be behind them. And if you're left-handed cutter, it'll be opposite. So again, you can see if we did the whole section and you brush it straight down, you're not going to see a lot of layers in the hair, but again, if you come over the surface, you'll see that there's some nice soft layers and movement in the hair. And that's hinge cutting. This technique is called hinge in motion. It's a great way to create long layered effects in the hair without it looking like there's actual layers in the hair. Hinge cutting, the way it differs from hinge in motion is with hinge cutting, it creates more of a definitive layer in the hair, where hinge in motion is going to create more of a diffuse line. So with hinge in motion, if you are right-handed, you will want to stand on the right side of your client. If you're left-handed, you'd want to stand on the left side of your client. So you want to take the section in the back, if I'm going to be working in the exterior frame from the apex to ear base on each side back, I want to take a section from the apex all the way down to the center nape balance point, and then take a small 1/4 inch section. From there, I want to start with my fingers holding all of the hair in the section, and I want to put my fingers right at the apex. So I'm keeping my fingers right where the section ends. So coming up with my fingers from bottom. And then this is what we call pivoting. So you want to pivot up so that your fingers are facing straight up and down or 90 degrees at the top of the head. Then you want to come straight up from that section. And I like to use my comb as a guide so it combs through the hair as I'm traveling up. And as you can see, right then, gravity started to drop. So I want to go a little bit further because I want gravity to drop a little bit more. And then to cut these layers, I'm just going to start with my scissors, and I'm going to just open and close my scissors as I move up the hair strand. So I'm going to open and close as I move. So with hinge in motion, I don't move at all and I just cut, and it creates a very definitive line for the layers. With hinge in motion, you can see that it creates much more of a diffuse line in that hair. So for the next section, I want to just get that section out of the way, and I just want to travel in radial sections from the center to the left, and then from the center to the right. So again, I'm going to take another section, holding it all with my comb and my fingers. I want to put my fingers right at the apex. I'm going to pivot so that my fingers are facing straight up and down. And then I want to come straight up, all the way up until gravity drops. And then I just want to open and close my scissors as I move up the hair strand until I cut the entire section. Again, I want to just continue to move in radial sections as I go towards the ear base. So again, taking a section, I'm going to move her so I can travel and move exactly where the hair lives. Putting my fingers at the apex, pivoting straight up to 90 degrees. Now if I pivot at 45, you can definitely do this, but just realize when you come up at a 45-degree angle and let gravity drop, if I were to cut at this angle, I'm going to be creating much more of a heavier layer in the hair than if my fingers are straight up and down. So with my fingers straight up and down, I'm going to open and close my scissors as I travel in the same direction that my fingers are pointing, which is straight up and down. So that's going to create a much more diffused line in the hair as opposed to just doing hinge or hinging at a 45-degree angle. So again, taking another section, hinging, coming all the way up till gravity drops, taking my scissors, open and close, open and close, open and close as the hair drops. And you can see that that's the amount of hair that we took out. I'm going to show one more section, and then I'll show you the difference that you can see the difference between each side. So again, hinge, coming straight up from where the hair lives. Gravity drops, and I want to open and close my scissors as I go up the hair shaft. So once I've reached ear base, I could continue on forward on the right side, but I like to go and work just in the back sections and then move my way to the front. So as you can see, I did the hinge in motion on their left side, and then I didn't do any layers on the right side, but you can see here, if I brush it straight down, you can't see any layers or lines or demarcations in the hair, but if you move the hair, you can definitely see that there's those layers and movement in the hair. So this is a great way to create that long layered effect in the hair without actually seeing the layers in the hair. And there you have it. That's Hinge in motion. This technique is called raking. It's a really great technique to help to remove weight from the outer areas of the hair for someone that has a lot of hair, but you want to remove weight without seeing any lines in the hair. So the way that you want to do this is start with your stationary blade on the scalp, and you want to just rake your scissors through the scalp area as where the hair lives, and as you're doing so, you want to open and close your shears as you're going down through that section. So again, it's raking it through and then opening and closing your shears as you're going down through that section. So starting at the top and then open and closing your shears as you go down through that section. And as you go through each section, you just open and close, open and close, open and close as you go all the way through the hair. And what this is going to do is just help to remove space or weight in the hair wherever the hair lives. So you want to make sure that you're brushing the hair where it lives. And you can see as I brush through this, you'll see the hair that I removed. It's removing space and weight so the hair can fall nice and evenly. So you're never just slicing through the hair, but you're actually raking through the hair. So you just open and close those scissors as you go through the hair from top to bottom, just to remove that extra weight and space in the hair. And that is what we call raking. This technique is called slide to frame. It's the technique to help you get that perfect face framing every single time. So the way you want to achieve this is start on their client's right side if you are right-handed, or left side if you are a left-handed cutter. The reason why I like to start on the right side or your dominant side if you're right-handed is because it's the easier side, and then I'll show you how to do it on the opposite side or your non-dominant side if you are left-handed would be the right side. So if you're right-handed, you want to start out on the right side of your client and you want them to look to the left. This is going to allow their hair to get out of the way of their shoulder so that when you're creating this face frame, there's nothing that's blocking as you're coming through and cutting that face frame in the hair. Now, as you can see, they already have some face framing in their hair. It's done really nicely. This, I think, was my previous haircut on them. And so we're gonna just bring it up a little bit higher. So you can see right now that the face framing starts just below the chin. So I'm gonna bring it up so it starts just below the lip, and that's where we're gonna start. So I wanna start by taking this section, and I'm gonna turn this so you can see a little bit better, but have them looking that way. Take this entire section, and I wanna have the hair go where it lives. So instead of having the hair fall down like that, I'm gonna go back away here to the recession, then brush it straight down where it lives. And then what I wanna do is take this entire section where it lives in my non-cutting hand, having it all brushed and combed straight down so that it's all laid out nice and evenly for you. Then I want to figure out where I want to start, which is just below the chin. So I'm going to have my fingers starting right where I want the face framing to start. And then I'm going to come in with my scissors just above my fingers. And then the traveling motion I'm going to do is coming straight down the hair like this. And as I do that, I'm going to open and close my scissors like this, ever so slightly, okay? So I've got all of this hair where it lives. I now want to come in with my non-cutting hand, holding all of this hair in place, getting it nice and secure between my fingers. I'm going to come down to where I want to start the face framing, which is just below the lip. I'm going to come in with my scissors just above my hand, and then I'm going to just walk down, open, close, open, close, open, close. And as I open and close my scissors, I'm walking down the hair just slightly, taking off little pieces on the outer layer of the section that will just help to create this nice, soft face framing all the way down the hair. So for the opposite side with slide to frame, it's a little bit more tricky. So you want to still be standing on your dominant side. So if you're a right-handed hair cutter, you want to stand on the right side. If you're a left-handed cutter, you'll still be standing on their left side. For the opposite side, you want to have them then look towards you. So look towards me, please. And then I'm going to get this hair out of the way so it's no longer here. And now, because we're on their left side and they're looking at me, if I were to try to come in and cut the hair the same way I did on this side, it would be a little bit awkward. So I actually like to go my back of my hand to back of my hand to give me more control. So again, I'm going to brush the hair down where it lives. And once we find out where that hair lives, I want to take it all into my hands. So I've got the whole section in my hands, brushing it down. And I want to come to right where we're starting, which again, it's going to be right below the lip. So I want my hands and scissors to be right above the lip area. And then I'm going to just do the exact same motion of open, close, open, close, open, close. And I'm doing 0 elevation, coming right down where the hair lives as I open and close my scissors until I get all the way down to the end of the hair. Look ahead. So as you can see, just creates this nice soft face framing, and that's slide to frame. This technique is called torque. So it's a great way to create another option for face framing besides using slide to frame. It's a different way of doing it because you're actually doing a twisting motion with your arms to create the hair so that it goes from shortest to longest. So if you're standing on your client's right side, you'll be standing on your client's right side if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you'd be standing on their left side. The reason being is you want to be able to palm their head so that you have all of the hair in that section within your palms as your fingers are pointing towards, palms are pointing toward the head and your fingers on that part line. So the great thing is you want to take a section that's about 1 to 1.5 inches back from the hairline all the way down to the top of the ear so that you have the entire section that was going to be framing the face in your hand or in your section. And then you want to just start by taking the entire section with your palm facing the head. You're going to do a twist in your hand so that you're now facing with your fingers pointing back towards the client. So I started here with my palms facing on the head, but then I'm going to grab the hair and do a half twist torque. And then I want to come down to where I want the layers to start. Have you look straight ahead? And then I'm just going to start right at the chin. And now I have the hair half twisted. This is the shortest end, this is the longest end, and I'm going to just come out right where the hair lives. I'm going to open and close my scissors as I go through this entire section as I come straight out. What that's going to do is create a nice soft marrying of the fringe into the face framing to create a nice soft face framing. If you want to add a little bit more in, you come just a little bit further back, comb all this hair into your hand again, and you do the exact same thing. Holding it with your fingers, you're doing a half twist or torque. Come down to where you want to start the fringe, have them look straight ahead, and then you just open and close your scissors as you go straight out, right? Now, if you want to do this on the opposite side, if you're right-handed, the left side will be the wonky side. If you're left-handed, the right side will be a little wonky for you. If you were trying to do the same thing on the right side, it's a little bit impossible to do a half twist. So for the left side, you take the same section of hair going all the way down from just off the hairline, about an inch, inch and a half off the hairline to the top of the ear. Take the entire section, and you want to stand behind them now with your palm facing their head. And then now what you want to do is come stand back to your dominant side, your right side if you're right-handed, and then you're going to just do not a full twist, but you're going to just take that same motion with the hair so that the shortest is still on the inside, the longest is on the outside, and you want to just come to the center where you want that to pick up, and you're going to just open and close your scissors as you go towards the end of the hair. And again, that's going to create that soft face framing. And if you want to do one more, Take another section. If you want to do the whole section, you just take the whole section again in your hands, right at the hairline, and you want to travel to your right side. Again, take this same direction with this hair, coming down to where it lives, and then you want to just open and close, open and close, open and close as you come straight out. And then that is going to give you this nice, soft face framing that will marry really nicely with the fringe. And there you have it. That's twerk. Today I'm going to take you through a reversible fringe technique called X Factor. So a reversible fringe is designed for people who have hair that they like to part on both sides of the head, but not down the middle. So if the client really likes to do a side part on either side, this X Factor will give them an opportunity to be able to push their fringe on either side so they can switch up their part and still have the fringe that goes easily in both directions. So to section out the X Factor, you want to take the hair from where the comb leaves the top of the head as you're holding it like this. So that would be the apex, and you come from that point to the high point of the brow on each side. So once we have the hair section from the apex to the high point of brow on each side, we're gonna take a zigzag parting down the center, and we'll take the first section on the left and bring it over to her left side. Now this is where you can decide how long or short you want the starting piece to be. You could start it at her temple if they wanted a shorter fringe. You could start it at the eyebrow, or you could go all the way down to however long the hair is. You can pick where you want the starting place to be. So with Carolyn, we're gonna start just at her cheekbone. I'm gonna insert my scissors just below my fingers, and I'm gonna open and close the shears as I walk towards her face. So that's the cutting technique. Open and close as I go towards the face, and then I'm gonna stop as soon as I get to the center of her face, right at the nose. Just at her cheekbone, I'm gonna open and close my shears as I come towards the center of her face. And just once I get to the center, I'm gonna close my shears all the way and close that down. Then I'm gonna take this next section, bring it all the way over. So I'm gonna actually start with my fingers at the same starting point. I'm gonna find my guide from the previous time I cut. Underneath there, I'm gonna do the exact same motion. So I'm gonna do open and close, open and close, open and close, open and close, until I get to the center, and then just close all the way through. So that creates a shorter to longer direction on this side. So when she parts her hair going this direction, it's now gonna go from shorter to longer to hold her hair in place going this direction. Now, if she wants to flip her hair to the other side, we have to do the exact same thing, but on the other direction. So you take a zigzag parting for the second side, and you're gonna bring this section over to her right side. I'm gonna come down where I started on the other side so it's even. I'm gonna start at her cheekbone. I'm gonna put my scissors just under my fingers, and I'm gonna just open and close, open and close, open and close my shears, coming towards the face, and as I get towards the nose, I'm gonna just close the scissors all the way. Then I'm gonna just take the next segment, bring it all the way over, and repeat the same exact motion now on her right side. So I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna follow the starting point from where I did before, right at the cheekbone, bring my scissors underneath my fingers. I'm gonna open and close my shears as I come towards her nose. And then when I get to the nose, I'm just gonna close my shears all the way. So Carolyn, she really loves to wear her hair mostly on her right side, parted on her left, going towards her right. So now when she wears her hair parted this direction, she has the face framing that will come from shorter to longer, as you can see here on this side. But then if she has a day where she decides she wants to flip it, she wants to have a right part instead of a left part, the nice thing is she just flips her hair, and again, the hair goes from short to long and just gives a nice face framing on both sides. So as you can see, you can wear it on the left or the right side, and that's X Factor. This next technique is called half twist fringe. So I've got my model here with me today. This is, we'll just call her Jenny. A half twist fringe is going to create just that nice arc fringe at the top of the head. So this would be for someone that wants more of a full fringe, but wants it more with like a slight half moon shape as opposed to being just straight across. So this is a great way to create this fringe with just one simple cut. So the way that you want to do, first you need to section out the hair. So what I have her here is I sectioned her out. And if I put her sideways and I put the comb on the side of the head, where the comb leaves the top of the head, that's gonna be your apex point at the top. And then you just wanna come down to each side to the high point of brow on each side of the head. So here's the high point of brow, here's the high point of brow, and that's what will section out your fringe. If you wanted to have more fringe, you could obviously go to the outside of the brow, or if someone just wanted a little baby fringe, you could do like the inside of, just inside the brow, just inside the high point of the brow. So you can alter this depending on how much fringe they want. You wanna make sure that they are facing straight ahead, and you want the hair combed down directly where it lives. So you're gonna hold the hair with your non-cutting hand, and then you wanna come in with your cutting hand and hold all the hair together in your non-cutting hand between your pointer finger and your middle finger. Once you have the hair secured, you're going to turn the hair so that your fingers are pointing directly towards the face, and then you wanna come directly on top with your fingers of the other section and then do another twist so it's right there. So this is gonna make the hair be longer on the outsides from both sides and shorter in the middle. So I'm going to do a longer cut so you can see how the technique works, and then I'll show you again with more of the accurate length at the fringe. So you wanna brush down where the hair lives. You wanna take your cutting hand and point it towards the face, then come with your non-cutting hand on top of your other fingers, grasp the hair, and do another twist. So now I'm gonna bring it down just to the end of the nose, and I'm gonna keep this hair fanned out just like this to really give the shape in the hair. So you can either do a straight cut directly across, or you could come in and point cut if you want to diffuse the line. So I'm gonna diffuse the line, so I'm gonna actually come in and point cut, and I'm gonna just start in the middle. That's where I have the hair most secure, and I'm gonna cut to the outside of my section here, doing a point cut. And then I'm gonna just come back and point cut the opposite direction on this side. And then I'm gonna go and point cut now to the other side. And I wanna make sure that I'm holding my fingers straight because I want to cut the hair directly straight across. Otherwise, you will create a uneven fringe. So you just wanna make sure that this line is straight across, and then just come in and point cut in both directions to really help to diffuse that line. Once you've got the fringe cut, you can drop it, and then when you brush it down, you'll see, now her hair is a little bit too long here, but you'll see it creates just a nice half moon fringe in the hair. So I just did it a little bit longer to show you so that if the technique, but now I'll come in and show you how it would look if we go a little bit shorter. You will come in holding all the hair, brushing it right down where it lives. And again, you wanna come with your cutting hand, coming all the way across, and you wanna gather the hair towards the center so that you're able to hold it all within the tip of your fingers and your first knuckle to really make sure that all of this hair is in the right spot. So you wanna just brush all this down and then come in with your cutting hand first to grab all of that hair, then point towards the head, come with your other finger on top, grab it, twist. And so I right where I wanna create that line. So again, I'm gonna just come in and I'm gonna just do a point cut to the left, going straight across. And then point cutting the other direction, straight across. So now you wanna drop it so you can see how this looks. So you'll drop it down. And because my fingers were pulled away from the head, there's a little bit of over direction. So this is where you wanna come in and just even up any of these over directed pieces here. So what you can do is you come in with your comb, take your scissors, lift the hair off the head, and then let it fall down into the comb. And you can see right where those issues are on the fringe. So you can just come in and clean up any of those pieces that don't mesh well. So there's that side, and then you just want to come in and clean up on this side. So you come under with your scissors, lay it over the comb, and then come right down where the hair lives, and then you can see where this needs to be corrected, where it was over directed. So you just come in and point cut right in this one area, one direction, and then point cut the other direction. And it just helps to clean up that line or any lines or over direction that might have caused. So once you have that, you can see it just creates this nice half twist fringe in the hair, so that when you let the hair down, it just creates a nice seamless look. So you've got the hair on the side. She still has all this hair in the front, so it's not gonna be too short, but she also has this just really nice half twist, perfect face framing fringe here. And that is the half twist fringe.